guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've actually already had my first period. The first time that we had sex after having a baby. I am genuinely terrified of getting pregnant again. Your life has completely changed. You have a human who entirely depends on you. When the mother goes out of balance, the whole house goes out of balance. If a man tells you they don't want a baby, like, do not try and have a baby with that man. Said to me, oh my God, like, I want to have babies with this man. Like, everything in my body chose him. Oh my God. So we are 2 months in now to having a baby, and life is pretty crazy, guys. Life is pretty wild on the stormy seas of motherhood. It's pretty crazy, but baby ocean is a wild ocean to ride, but we're riding it. And I'm actually going to share a question with you guys in this podcast episode that I hope, whether you have a baby or don't have a baby, I hope this question turns things around for you the same way that it did for me. Because honestly, if I didn't ask myself this one question, I don't think I'd be in the place that I'm in right now. So just to set the scenes, and also if you're listening to this, I'm about to set a really dreamy scene, because to be honest, guys, and I'm owning this, and I am worthy of this, and I deserve this, because the first couple of weeks with a newborn is crazy. But right now we are in the most beautiful space. Like, I mean, like, emotionally, spiritually, like in life, we're in the most beautiful space. Like, everything just feels like a dream. Everything feels amazing. And I'm sure there's people out there thinking it's not going to last that long. I don't care. Not listening to you guys. I'm riding this high wave. I'm enjoying this high wave. Because I know that I've heard of the 4-month regression. So we're at 2 months. Last night, guys, I got 5 hours uninterrupted sleep. And actually, I would have got more sleep if my breasts weren't so engorged. They got so painful because my baby is sleeping so long now that my boobs are actually like, I need you to like feed off me, because I need to like express milk. They're getting so sore because she's sleeping for so long. So I was actually woken up not by the baby, but I was woken up by my boobs being in so much pain, which then made me wake up the baby so she would feed to like relieve my breasts a little bit. Anyway, I got 5 hours last night, guys. This is a celebration. But yeah, if you are in your first couple of weeks of having a baby, you need to go and listen to episode 1, because episode 1 is where I talk about how desperate and grimy and crazy and what the fuck just happened. I felt like in the first couple of weeks. Now I feel like I'm living the dream. What was the fuss about, guys? What was the fuss about? Anyway, my daughter's just started smiling. It is amazing. The only problem is every time she smiles, I go, oh my God, my baby just smiled, and scream in her face. And then she stops smiling because she's like freaked out. But that is a pretty special moment. And anyway, I want to set the scene on how good life is right now and share this one question with you. So last night and this morning and every moment at the minute just feels so dreamy. Yes, there are moments between where it's like, oh, I just sat down to do something and all of a sudden the baby's crying. But on a whole, it's like, oh my God, I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. So it's spring here, depending on where, like, I don't know where you are in the world, and you might be listening to this at a different time, but it's spring at the moment. Last night I was in the kitchen. My partner was cooking a beautiful meal. He is doing like 99% of the cooking, I would say. He loves to cook anyway, but that is, at the moment, that's where he can really support, is like cooking, cleaning, all those things. And I think it's really amazing to have a partner that really supports in that way. That is somewhere that they can step up. Like if you're breastfeeding, if you're the one doing the night shift, having those conversations where your partner is really clear. Like if your partner is a good man or a good woman, depending on what relationship you're in, I hope that your partner is looking for ways to support you, because I know my partner and many men that I've spoken to, unfortunately, I've also heard of men who don't, they're struggling. They don't maybe want to step up, or they're confused, or they're, going through their own process, whatever. I don't want to get into the topic of that, but my experience is my partner, my man, wants to know how he can support me. Like, like last night we were just laid in bed, we just put the baby down, and he just said to me, "What do you need? What do you need?" And I was like, I just need you to keep asking me that question. That is like the sexiest, most amazing, beautiful, euphoric question you could ask a woman, especially in this time of her life. What do you need? So if there's any men or any partners of someone who's just given birth, or even forget being a partner, as anyone in your life who's just given birth, you lean into that woman and you ask her, what do you need? And like, with it, only if you mean it. If you don't mean it, because you don't know how she's going to answer. She could ask for anything in that moment. But what do you need? Like, oh my God, what a powerful question. And to be honest, that question was all I needed in that moment. I didn't need anything. Just hearing that question made me feel so loved and so seen and so cared for. Anyway, that's just a little tip. But back to the scene setting. So last night my partner was cooking. We had mackerel, beautiful mackerel. He was making like these potato things that he grills in the oven. He was chopping up this beautiful salad. We had fresh juice that I'd gotten in. Like, I think it was like kiwi and celery and spinach. Bless you, baby. Bless you. We had the candles flickering. The bird song at the moment this time of year is so beautiful. It's unbelievable. And I was just breastfeeding. We have this beautiful farmhouse style table in our kitchen, and I'm a sucker for farmhouse tables. I love them. And I was just breastfeeding my daughter, and I was like playing around like, isn't this funny? She can sit on the table. Like, I just thought it was hilarious. And anyway, I just took her over to the kitchen counter to show my partner, look, she can sit on the table. These are the kind of things that you do when you have a baby. You're like, look, she's sucking her fingers. What? And everyone's like, wow, look, she can put her bum on this table. Wow, look, she turned her head to the left. Wow. It's so funny. Like, it's just amazing how much joy can come from these little things. Anyway, I went over and I was just breastfeeding her. I propped her up on the kitchen side and just started breastfeeding her and was like to my partner, look, like it's just amazing. And he got his phone out and took a photo. And actually, I've just shared that photo on Instagram because I just it was like a moment in time. It captured this beautiful evening, and life kind of has been like that for us at the minute. And like I say, I want to share like what's led to that for any mums or mums to be who are interested in hearing about this. And we went upstairs. My daughter's only 2 months old, but my partner has already filled our bathroom with bath toys. So many bath toys. Like, now I've actually had to get a bath toy box. So I have a box where all the bath toys go in. But the latest bath toy that he has got is like the alphabet letters that stick on the bathroom wall. So whilst you're in the bath, you stick them on. So they do bath night every night around 7 to 8 p.m. They go up and have bath night. I have some like time to myself and just, might talk to my sister over in New Zealand who's just had a baby. I like watching things on YouTube, like whatever I might do. I do whatever I want to do. They do bath time. Anyway, my partner got these letters and he was like, teaching my daughter how to spell or whatever. She's 2 months. She has no idea. I mean, who knows? Maybe she will become like an amazing speller. But anyway, we ended up playing Countdown in the bath, which was really fun. So we were doing vowels, consonants. I even got the little countdown sound, diddle, 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 doo, boom, on the Spotify. Like, we were just having such a great time. Our baby's just laid there in the bath in my partner's arms, like, just, she has no idea. And we're just like, Carol Vorderman, pull out vowel, consonant. We're just having a great time. Anyway, babe, if you're listening to this, I definitely won Countdown last night. Anyway, then we put our baby to bed. So I usually give her a feed after we get her out the bath, put her in a little sleeping bag. A tip that we have is we put a hot water bottle in the crib. This just seems to do the trick for her. I like to strategically, this is very strategic skill, guys. I strategically place the hot water bottle where I know her face is going to be, because then when she lies down in that crib, it feels like she's laid warm on my chest. Her face, her chin is on my chest. So that is a tip for anyone to give it a try. So we did that, and then we just had some time, me and my partner. We might have, a little bit of, we won't go into detail, but I think we all know what I'm talking about, a little bit of sexy time together. And we might just spend some time chatting. We might just spend some time just like having a cuddle. Like, one thing that I honestly can't believe is how much I have missed my partner. And that sounds so funny. Like, it was so unexpected. I genuinely missed my partner so much. And I still do have moments where I'm like, babe, I'm not using your voice. We love hearing your voice. We love hearing your voice. But I genuinely didn't anticipate how much I would miss him. So sometimes I remember, like, in the first couple of weeks where I really needed to feel held by him, and just like, if I was really sleep deprived or I was having challenges with breastfeeding, whatever it might be, I would just text him and I'd message him and say, babe, can I have a cuddle? And he'd just come upstairs, climb into bed with me and hold me. And it really regulated my system, because, guys, the same way that babies are regulated through being on their mum's chest or on their dad's chest or somewhere that they feel safe, like, they get regulated by the body heat, by the heartbeat, but of course most of all by being on their mum. We as humans get regulated by being held by the people that we feel safe with and we feel loved by. So one thing that I felt I really needed in those first couple of weeks was, like, literally just being held. So I used to just message my partner and be like, can you just hold me? Like, please, can you just come and hold me? And he would do that. And I'll tell you why I had to message him to come up, because we are actually sleeping in separate beds at the minute, and I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute, because it's been a game changer for us. So yeah, we just sometimes we'll lie together on an evening. We actually, we're still quite new in our relationship, guys, so we did start having sex again quite early on, dare I say before the 6-week mark, but my body just felt ready for it. And it's something that we really enjoy and really value. And I'm not going to talk about sex in this episode, but I definitely want to cover that as a topic, because there's some hilarious sex stories that I have to share. Like, don't want to share too much, but, like, there was this one time, the first time that we had sex after having a baby, it was just such a, like, beautiful moment, but also, like, funny at the same time. Was, I remember, and my partner's probably going to listen to this and be like, Alice, why do you have to share all these details? But I remember him, like, pulling my bra down, like, in this, like, heated, magical moment, pulling my bra down. And I had, like, this milk catcher just started to pop out. So, like, I have these milk catchers in my bra which catch milk, and I save that milk and put it in a bottle to just save the breast milk. So this milk catcher popped out, and I just thought, okay, that's okay. And then I think I had pajamas on at the time, and, like, pulled my pajama bottoms down, and I had these postpartum, like, nappy pad pants things on. I still wore them after a while. I'd stopped bleeding, but I actually found them really comfy. So I was wearing, like, these disposable nappy pant things. You, like, pulled my pants down. I remembered I had these on. I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Like, what is going on? And then I think, like, we heard, like, the baby crying. I think she was in her crib. This is when she was really little. She doesn't know what's going on. And I think she started crying. So he had, like, one hand shaking the baby, like, rocking the baby. She wasn't crying, but she needed, like, I think she just needed to say, like, someone's here. And it was just this hilarious moment of I was just laid there with these milk catchers, like, falling out of my bra. These, like, disposable pants on, and then my partner was just, like, with his other hand, one hand on me, the other hand rocking the baby. Anyway, it was crazy and funny and just amazing all at once. But anyway, we're going to save, because it is scary. And one thing I'm terrified of, oh my God, I am going to go a little bit into sex maybe. I'm just freestyling. But I do have this one question I want to share with you all. So I promise I will share that. I've made a note. I've got to post it in front of me to share that. But one thing I hadn't realised or anticipated was I am genuinely terrified of getting pregnant again. It is something that I did not think I would feel, and I don't want to go on the pill. It's something I don't feel that is right for me. I haven't been on the pill for like 10 years. I actually did cycle tracking, so I've always tracked my period, well, for a very, very long time, and the way that we got pregnant this time, it wasn't planned. We were actually only together a month when I got pregnant. And we actually were doing cycle tracking because I'd shared, look, I didn't want to wear condoms because I didn't want the feeling of plastic or latex. It's just something I didn't want in my body. This is my personal preference. So I know everyone's going to have their different opinions on that. And we just cycle tracked. But, cycle tracked has led us here to having a 2-month-old baby. So I'm sure cycle tracking works for some people. And it did work for us, probably for a little while. But here we are with our gorgeous little daughter. So as you can imagine, I am not ready to cycle track. And guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've actually already had my first period. So I'm a very fertile woman, and I'm apparently ready to, if I choose to, and if we're blessed again, when the time is right, because it absolutely isn't right now, but I am fertile again, which the thought of honestly getting pregnant terrifies me. My body is not ready for that, and I'm definitely not ready to welcome another baby like right now. Like, yes, we've spoken about in the future, but definitely not. So I would like to have a whole podcast episode focused on sex, because it is a big part of our life, and I believe that our sexual health is a big part of women's health. Whether you're in a relationship and you enjoy sex with someone else, or whether you are, single and self-pleasure is a big part of your life, as women, our sexual health matters. It impacts how we feel. It impacts our connection with the world. It impacts everything. Like, I'm so passionate about women being sexually, connected to their sensual side, if that's what they desire. So yeah, I've been surprised at how afraid I've been of getting pregnant since having sex again after giving birth. Like, I am terrified of getting pregnant again. So yeah, let's save that for another day. Anyway, so life feels really dreamy at the moment. Like, even this morning, my partner had a job that he needed to go off to do, and he's left me with like a ready-made breakfast. He makes me his beautiful overnight oats, which are filled with, like, I can see it, I'm looking at it now because I haven't eaten it yet. I can see it's got oranges in, it's got blueberries in, it's got yogurt in, it looks like it's got some pineapple in. Ooh, I love a bit of pineapple. And some pecans. So all these things, everything just feels dreamy, and like, yes, it's hard, and yes, I'm definitely not getting as much sleep as I usually would, but life feels great. And I want to just share this upside really honestly, because I shared the downside really honestly. I want to share the upside really honestly, because for anyone like I was a couple of weeks ago thinking, oh my God, I can't do this for weeks and weeks and weeks. How will my body get through this? I want you to know, like, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I can't make any promises on when that light at the end of the tunnel will be. Like, for us, it was definitely around the 4 to 6 week mark where we started getting more sleep, where we started getting into a bit of a routine. We started to get to know our baby's cues a bit better. So that was definitely a turning point for us. I have spoke to a lot of mums where they felt, were getting more sleep sooner than that. And I've spoke to a lot of mums who were, they're maybe into 9 months and they're still not getting that much sleep. So I'm not here to say when you're going to experience that, but I do want to share that my experience, and I hope this gives anyone hope, my experience has been around the 4 to 6 week mark. Things just change. And I want to share actually what has really brought that change around. So a big part of that change definitely came from, getting to grips with breastfeeding. So we got a lactation consultant who came to see us, and she really looked at my latch and shared different positions with me. I actually spent a couple of weeks expressing milk and gave my nipples like a good couple of weeks to just breathe, to heal. Because if you listen to my first podcast on this, I got thrush on my nipples on day 8. So I had cracked nipples, bleeding nipples. I was literally squeezing my partner's hand whilst I was breastfeeding because it was so painful. But I was determined to breastfeed because I just knew, for me, that's something that I've always really wanted to do. And I'm so glad we stuck it out. So if anyone's struggling with breastfeeding, like, seriously, go and get a lactation consultant, watch the YouTube videos. Something that really helped me was actually speaking to other women, and they would share with me, Alice, someone said to me, if you just pump, give your nipples a breast, give your nipples a breast, give your nipples a rest. Little things like that helped. And I remember someone, actually, the woman who gave me her breast pump, Kat, shout out to Kat, thank you so much. I messaged her to say thank you so much for giving me this manual breast pump, because I didn't even know I needed it, and she just sent me this box of goodies. We've never even met on person. Like, women are so generous and kind. She just said, Alice, I've heard you're pregnant. I've got some hand-me-downs if you want them. And I said, yes, we'd be so grateful. So she sent me this manual breast pump, and I just started giving my breasts and nipples a break to heal. And she said to me, Alice, I had such a challenging time when I was breastfeeding. It was so hard, so painful, but people kept encouraging me because I really wanted to keep breastfeeding. And people kept giving me words of encouragement and supporting me and telling me well done and cheering me on. Because it really messes with your mental health. Like, you're thinking, I want to feed my baby. Like, your baby's dependent on how much milk they get from you, so it's very stressful. It takes a toll on your mental health. It certainly did on mine. And she said, Alice, I went on to breastfeed. I had such a hard time like you did. I went on to breastfeed my babies for 2 years. I was like, yes, that was the story that I needed to hear. This is why sharing our stories matter. Like, this is what women would do back in the day. And we've lost it. But things like podcasts, things like social media, we're bringing back storytelling. Storytelling for women is so powerful, and we lost it. We lost it for a long time, but we're bringing back women's circles. We're bringing back Women Council. We're bringing back Red Tents. We're bringing back things like these podcasts. We're sharing our stories honestly. And so when she shared her story with me, I was like, yes, that was the inspiration I needed. That was the hope that I needed. Obviously, things like nipple cream and things help. But anyway, that is a whole different conversation. I don't want to get sucked into that. So yeah, breastfeeding was really hard, but now it's like really, really beautiful and really, really magical. So anyway, I've totally gone off track with where I was going, but I want to come back to this one question that really changed the game for me. So I remember it must have been about like 2 weeks in maybe to having my baby, and I was so sleep deprived and so desperate. And I remember waking up. I wasn't even waking up because I hadn't even been asleep, to be honest, but my partner was sleeping downstairs, because I thought, if my partner sleeps downstairs, he's then not getting disturbed sleep, and he can help more with the cooking, the cleaning, just being the emotional support, holding the baby, like all these things that make such a difference. I remember being like, I can't do this, I need a break. And I remember it must have been about 1 a.m. and I remember going downstairs. It was dark, it was pitch black, going downstairs with my baby in my arms and just putting my baby on my partner's bed. We've set up like a bed from downstairs on my partner's bed, and I said, you need to take the baby. Like, I can't do this, I need a breather. And I remember I went out into the garden, and I didn't even put my shoes on. I had bare feet. It was raining. I remember the moon was shining, and we have this tree, I think it's a cherry blossom tree, at the bottom of the garden. And I just went like sobbing, crying, like feeling so desperate, to this tree in the bottom of the garden. And I put my back up against that tree and just took a deep breath. I remember putting my hands on the ground. The ground was so wet. It was so damp. But I remember feeling like I needed to feel that connection with the earth. Like, there's this phrase which is mother the mother. And it is so important for new mothers that our community, our partners, mother the mother. We have to nurture the mother, because when the mother goes out of balance, the whole house goes out of balance. The whole ecosystem goes out of balance. The baby goes out of balance. I notice if I am having like a challenging day, or I'm having like an emotional day, or whatever it might be, I just noticed my daughter Esme. I noticed that she is out of balance. She totally goes out of balance. I also noticed that the house goes out of balance, because there's a feeling in the air of like, and I think we can all relate to this. When the woman is out of balance, whether it's in the house or in a friendship group, if the woman is out of balance, it knocks everything else out of balance. I know that if I'm having a stressy day, I know that my partner will feel it. I know that everything in the house feels tense. Like, it's just true. So we have to mother the mother. And I remember sitting down on the grass, the bare grass, and feeling the wetness of the earth, and feeling Mother Earth holding me. And I cried and cried and cried, because I was reminded that I need holding too. I'm going to say that again. I was reminded that I need holding too. That I need to be taken care of. And it wasn't that other people weren't trying to take care of me, and it wasn't even that I wasn't trying to take care of me. It was just that I'd gotten so caught up in taking care of my baby. And whenever people asked, like, what do you need, or whatever it might be, it was like the focus was completely on the baby. And actually what has happened these past couple of weeks is, as I've brought the focus onto myself and making sure my needs are taken care of and that I'm in balance, that is when my baby's needs are taken care of, when the baby's in balance. Like, if my nipples are taken care of course my baby's going to be able to feed better. If I am taken care of, I can give more attention to the baby. And it was just this amazing moment where I was in the garden, crying my eyes out, my bare feet on the grass. It was raining. And I honestly felt like the earth said to me, Alice, what do you need? What do you need? Not what does your baby need? Not what does your partner need? Not what does the family need? What do you need? And I felt such relief in that moment. That was an absolute game changer on my journey of transitioning into motherhood. A game changer. Because I remembered, I'm a women's coach. Anyone listening to this, never met before, I'm a women's coach. I run women's retreats, women's events. I have an online women's membership called the Sisterhood membership. I run women's circles. Like, I know that it's important to put the woman first. I know the importance, and I know the importance of asking that question, what do I need? In this moment, what do I need? It changed my whole experience of having a baby. This one question changed my whole experience of having a baby. And it changed my life before, when I've gone through major breakups, when I've gone through financial challenges, when I've gone through friendship challenges. Like, friendships are heartbreaking for women, guys. Like, when I've gone through challenges, I've asked, what do I need? And when I asked that question, I started hearing things like I needed more support. I needed more sleep. One thing that came to mind, guys, was I needed to get my nails done. For whatever reason, for me, when I have my nails done, I don't know what it is, but it's the truth, and I'm not even going to try and understand it, and I'm not even going to judge it. You know, people might judge that and be like, what, you want to get your nails done? You've just had a baby. I actually do not care. For whatever reason, when I have my nails done, I am a whole new woman. I'm just different. I feel great about myself. It feels abundant. It feels sexy. I feel connected. I feel like me when I have my nails done. So I said, I need to get my nails done. I was in clothes that didn't feel like me. Like I was squeezing into clothes and my body doesn't fit anymore. My body has changed so much. I needed to get new clothes. And I just wrote this like list in my head, like this mental list in my head, like a list, not a mental as in a crazy list, but in like a mentally made note of all the things I needed. And my journey changed from that point on. And asking that question, what do I need? The biggest thing, number one thing, was sleep. And what we ended up doing around sleep was I was taking the night shift. I just didn't know anything better, and my partner didn't really know how bad it was, because I kind of didn't know how bad it was. I just thought, oh, this is what happens when you have a baby. You're sleep deprived and it's challenging and blah, 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 blah. But I sat down with my partner and I shared with him the things that I needed, and he's amazing and he's wonderful and he wants to take care of me. He wants the best for me. Of course he does. So we both sat like, how can we make this better? How can we make this happen? How can you have more sleep? And the routine that we have now is I go to bed around 10 o'clock. I feed the baby. Me and my partner have time together, put the baby down. He then goes downstairs into the living room, and we have this whole bedroom set up in there for him. And every morning around 6 a.m., I take the baby down. And he has the baby. She's called Esme. I don't know. Esmeralda Anahata. I love her name. And it's a whole story behind her name, which I'll really, important story behind her name, which I'll share another day. Quite sad, but also beautiful and amazing at the same time. Anyway, he has the baby from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And that time for me during the night, whatever happens in the night, at the moment I'm getting like a solid 4 to 5 hours in the night, which I know all the mums out there clapping, cheering, celebrating, shimmying, like, yes, this is a celebration, because we know it might change at the 4-month regression. But I'm getting 4 to 5 hours sleep. And then my partner, he's had 10 till 6, which is a solid 8 hours. Who remembers having a solid 8 hours and uninterrupted sleep? That is like the definition of luxury. But I go down with the baby at 6 a.m. He has her till 10 a.m. And that gives me an extra 4 hours sleep. Hello. So some nights it might be interrupted, but some nights I might get like 2 hours of 4, like two blocks of 4. I know, you're using your voice. 2 blocks of 4 hours sleep, which is like 8 hours. Like, it is unreal. It has changed the game, and I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. No, to be honest, in those first couple of weeks, the baby's up like every hour, like cluster feeding, which just means that she's constantly wanting to feed. So I don't think I would have had any sleep relief in that way. But that has changed the game. Like, I feel like a normal person. I go out, I go to lunch. I'm trying to think of all the things that I do, because I don't do that many exciting things. But, everything that I would do in my normal life, I do it now, and it feels great. And I get to do it with my daughter. I'm very blessed that I don't, you hear people say, oh, it's so hard getting kids out the door, maybe in their older life, but now as a newborn, we just have this nappy caddy pack that lives in the car. The pram lives in the car. We have little hats that live in the car. And it's very easy for us we just put her in the car seat and off we go. But also know that babies' temperaments are different. So if you aren't, having that easy of a ride taking your baby out, then, that's okay. That's your journey with your baby, and that's absolutely fine. So for us, we're very blessed. So leveraging those moments, like I can just take her out to the shops, take her out to lunch. I'm about to drive to my dad's house now to see my sister, which I'm so excited about. My dad's been away in New Zealand with my older sister, who's also just had a baby, so which is really fun. So we get to like share with each other our experiences. But yeah, I'm about to drive 40 minutes to my dad's house, and then we're about to go to York City, which is another 40 minutes drive, and we're going to have a day of shopping and lunch. And we do all this with Esme, and it's effortless. At the moment, it might change, but at the moment, it's effortless. She loves being in the car. Because I'm breastfeeding, I don't need to think about packing food or lunch for her. Like, my boobs just need to be available. So we're in just this, like, amazing season of life. And, I hope sharing this gives people hope or little tips. But, yeah, that's what we're doing around sleep. And I haven't actually had like a daytime nap in ages. And I, even before, when the baby would go to sleep, I'd be really frantic and be like to my partner, like, you need to leave, I need to get my sleep. Whereas now, like I say, we'll have some time together, we'll enjoy each other's company, we'll just cuddle, or, you know, whatever it is that we want to do. And yeah, it just feels amazing. So asking that question, what do I need? I also found because I've not lived where I live for long, so I'm new to figuring out where I'll, you know, get my nails and my hair done and stuff. So I found a woman who you can go to a house to get your nails done. I much prefer that, because I find that you have an appointment, you go in, 30 minutes, you come out, boom, done. So I actually went and got my nails done, and that just felt really amazing. I knew that I needed clothes that fit me, so I did a massive online ASOS order. I think I spent like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, got loads of clothes in different sizes delivered to the house, and then just tried them all on, sent back what I didn't need, kept what felt really good, and all these things just made a huge difference. And I just want to say, like, we're, as new mums, like, we don't have to sacrifice ourselves. We don't have to be martyrs. We don't have to, you know, I think I personally, without realizing, had this, like, this subconscious idea and belief of, like, you know, this image that we see in the media, let's face it. Yes, sometimes we see this really gorgeous image of baby life, but then sometimes we also see this image of, like, women really let themselves go, and women, you know, they can't be themselves anymore. They're now a mum, and they're not the woman they used to be, and their hair's a mess, and they've got sick all over them, and they sit at home all day with the baby. Guys, some days it is like that. But really, like, I started to challenge that belief. Like, why have I got that belief from? Is that true to me? Is that what I want my experience of motherhood to be? Like, do I want it to be that it's all on me, and I'm struggling, and I'm wearing like shit clothes all day, and I don't feel like myself? Like, guys, naturally you're going to have moments where you don't feel like yourself. Your body's changed, your hormones have changed, your life has completely changed. You have a human who entirely depends on you. So, like, I don't want to be blasé to that and ignore that fact, but I wanted to challenge this belief. Does motherhood need to be that way? Absolutely not. The same way that I wanted to challenge my postpartum, the first few weeks of postpartum. Guys, science now shows that postpartum is like a 7-year period, that women's bodies, spirits, minds, emotional health is impacted for 7 years. So, like, we should not be thinking that we're like rushing into like a transition, but rushing into like normal life. But what I do want to say to you guys is we get to ask ourselves, and this, whether you've had a baby or not, like whatever period of life you're in, we get to ask ourselves, what is my story going to be here? What is my version of postpartum going to be? What is my version of transitioning into motherhood going to be? What is my version of the routine in the house going to be, of the support I do or do not get? Because why, like, for example, for me, I thought, why do I need to be sleep deprived? I have a man who loves me so much and wants to do whatever he can to support me and support our family. I have an amazing community around me who wants to support me. Why do I have to be sleep deprived? And again, I know that's a luxury, and I just want to say, I know there's mums out there who don't have that support and don't have that privilege. And I really believe, like, one of the things, and I really hope this isn't naive when I say this, but I really believe that one of the ways that I can help mothers in that situation is by shifting the collective consciousness. Like, if more and more, if we create a new model, or we create more emphasis on this model where women are more supported by society, by their communities, by their partners, where it isn't just, oh, well, that's how it is, you just get sleep deprived, that's how it is, you just, you know, wear shit clothes all the time, that's how it is, your relationship suffers. Like, if we can contribute to changing that collective consciousness, where the norm, the reality, the norm the everyday norm and expectation is that your relationship gets stronger when you have a baby. That your sex life maybe differs a little bit, but your sex life still exists if you choose to when you have a baby. That you aren't completely sleep deprived when you have a baby. In fact, you get sleep when you have a baby. Like, how can we change this storyline? And some people might be listening to this and thinking, Alice, you're fucking bonkers and you live on a different planet. And do you know what? Maybe I want to live on a different planet, because I have been told my whole life that the things that I want are crazy and it's not possible. And you know what? Time and time again, for some reason, out of sheer naivety, hope and optimism, I have made those things happen. And I want the same for motherhood. And right now, the truth is, like, I've felt a little bit like I want to hide, like, how good my experience has been. And I need to challenge that belief. Like, I'm afraid, like, are people going to judge me? Are people going to, like, oh, she's privileged. And I do have my privileges, and I know that. And there's lots of ways that I have my, being born as a white woman from, a family that was able to put food on the table every day. That is a privilege, and there's so many others. But there's this like, oh, I better hide how good it's been for me because other people have had it so bad. And actually, like, I want to share the truth, like I said, of the downs. And I did that in my first episode. Like, I really shared very honestly. And I want to share the truth of the highs. Like, I have an amazing man who cooks dinner for me every night. And I'm not talking about like a ready meal, microwave meal, which I'd be very grateful for if he did. I'm talking about he really takes the time to nourish me. I'm talking about he makes sure that the kitchen is tidy, because that's what I enjoy. I thrive in a tidy kitchen. He's taking on extra responsibilities. He's gatekeeping after lots of constant communication. Like, he is gatekeeping my postpartum experience. He is making sure I'm protecting, and he protects my sleep. Like, all these different things. He's, he is fully showing up as best as he can. And one of my jobs really is to communicate my needs. Like, I am responsible for that. For a moment where I feel, oh my God, this isn't working for me, whether it's I'm feeling tired or I'm feeling hungry all the time, or because breastfeeding makes you very hungry, guys, or it for example, one of the things is it makes such a difference for me when he brings me a drink when I'm breastfeeding. So, like, it's my responsibility. He's never breastfed in his life. We aren't educated about this at school. So, like, I'm saying it's my responsibility to say, babe, whenever you see me breastfeeding, it means so much, and it makes all the difference if you bring me a hot drink, a cold drink, a juice, whatever. Like, yesterday, he made me freshly squeezed orange juice with a big fat ice cube in there, and it was amazing. And, I have to take responsibility, whilst it's not my fault that society is not educated on how to support women during this time. It absolutely can be and is my responsibility to express my needs to my partner and to anyone else in my life for that matter. And by getting clear on what my needs are and boldly asking that question every day, what do you need, Alice? What do I need to thrive? What do I need to feel supported? And then to boldly be brave enough and know that I am worthy enough of being supported and having my needs met, my needs met, and communicating that, because it takes courage, guys. You have to challenge yourself. You've got to meet your edge of what you think you're worthy of, and you've got to say, babe, it means the world when you bring me a drink every time I'm breastfeeding. Like, I need that. My body needs that. Our baby needs that. The health of our family needs that. So we have to take that responsibility. And I've got a whole different topic of conversation, which is about dating. Like, dating and, like, I haven't been my partner, that long. But one of the things, when I went out into the dating world, it is a wild ride in the dating world for anyone who's been in there. And it's crazy and it's fun, and it's also really fucking frustrating because there's a lot of crazy stuff that can go on. But one thing was, like, I knew that I wanted to have a family. And so I took full responsibility of when I start dating, I'm going to take responsibility for who I choose to have a baby with, because I have learned, like, from my own experience and also from friends' experience of dating and being in the dating world and all these different things, is like, believe, if a man tells you they don't want a baby, like, do not try and have a baby with that man. Like, if a man tells you, like, when I first met my partner, I can't remember, but it felt really soon after having babies, like, I just knew straight away that he was the man I was going to have babies with before we'd even spoken about it. Like, my whole, like, my body, like, to be really graphic, like, the first time after we had sex, I felt like my body, like, said to me, oh my God, like, I want to have babies with this man. Like, everything in my body chose him. Like, I fully chose him, not just to be like a father, but to be the man that I walk besides in life. Like, the person that you choose to have babies with is you know, it's more than like marriage. You know, people think marriage is the big commitment. Having a baby with someone, you are not getting rid of that person. So something that I feel really passionately about is, like, for me, that felt important was, how can I take responsibility for the person that I choose to have babies with? So I knew that I wanted to have, you know, as we all do. I'm not saying that anyone chooses to have a baby with someone they don't want to have a baby with. I just think, like, you know, when you're younger, you're not thinking about those kind of things. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation and I'm getting sidetracked. But this question is changed my life, and it was things like, I would then ask my sister for what I need. I'd ask my dad for what I need. I'd ask my mum for what I need. I'd express my needs to my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law. Because I can't be that woman. I refuse to be that woman, that stereotype, that archetype of that woman who suffers when she has a baby. Like, I want to change that archetype. We need to create a new collective archetype where women are supported. And like I keep wanting to say, it is not our fault that society is not set up, but now that we know and have awareness, I do believe it is our responsibility to rise up and to push through the barriers that stop us from asking and expressing what our needs are. That is the first step, is what is it I need and how can I get those needs met? With our needs, we're like, can we really ask for another cup of tea? Can we really ask for, you know, the bath toys to be paid? It's like, yes, we can. Yes, we can. And yes, we will. And actually, the health of our relationship depends on it. Like, one of the things, like, I'm going to wrap up this podcast now because we're getting on. But I hope that question, asking yourself, what do you need? When you are thriving, your whole life is thriving. This is an ecosystem. Everything is connected. Just like in nature, when the rivers dry up, the plants dry up. When the mother dries up, the baby is going to get cranky. When the mother dries up, the relationship is going to suffer. When the mother dries up, the household is going to be, you know, tense. So, like, we are an ecosystem. We have to know, if we want to put our babies first, put ourselves first. Ask for the support you need. If you don't have the support, I do believe it is our responsibility, and it's not easy. It's taken me years to build up my own community and my support systems. But we have to go and seek that village. We are no longer necessarily born into the village that will help us raise our babies, but we can acknowledge that it's missing and we can take responsibility for building it. And that first starts with the village that exists in our own home and in our own family. Okay, so this is what I'm really passionate about. So I've totally lost what I was talking about before, because my daughter, she is my number one. And she is looking like she needs a feed. So I'm probably going to clock off here, guys. But that question, what is it you need and how can you get your needs met? And guys, I will say that it is a spiritual death. Like, you're going to have to become a new version of yourself. You're going to have to become a version of yourself that asks for more, that is able to receive. Because not only do you need to ask for more, know what your needs are, you need to be able to receive it. So when, like, my partner asked me last night, when he said to me, Alice, what do you need? Oh my God, it just melts me. Like, to have the man that you love ask you when you do need support, to ask you constantly on a daily basis, Alice, what do you need? What can I do to help? Tell me what I can do to help. To have that question asked, you need to be able to energetically feel worthy of that and be able to ask, to be able to say, this is what I need. And for example, last night I said, I actually didn't need anything. I just loved that he asked, but I think I eventually then said, I'd love a sleepy tea. I've got this herbal sleepy tea that I like when I'm breastfeeding at night time, and I said I'd love a sleepy tea. And when he gets up off the bed, because he's also had a long day, when he gets up off that bed and you see him walking down those stairs to get you a sleepy tea, you've got to be able to receive that. You've got to be able to feel, I am worthy of that, because it's so easy to think I'm asking for too much, or oh my God, like is it okay to ask for another cup of tea, like whatever it might be, like, oh my God, they've had a hard day, I want to give them a break. And guys, there are definitely times, like, you're a team when you're raising babies, like you definitely have to tag team. We talk about the tag team in our family, and you definitely have to tag team. And there's days where I think I can genuinely feel my partner needs just a breather, and I step back. But most of the time I know that I need to ask for what I need, and that he's able to meet those needs. So like, really lean into that edge. That is your challenge, whether you have a baby or whether you're just trying to create more abundance in your life in general. Your challenge is to ask for more of what you need. Meet your edge in asking for what you need. Because like I say, I am getting almost a solid, well, partially broken 8 hours sleep a night most days. I am also being mostly cooked for and cared for and loved on, and my experience is just, it is dreamy right now, and it is beautiful right now, and it does feel like a fairy tale. And I think it's important that whilst we share the truth of those first weeks, like I did in my last podcast, go and listen if you hadn't, it's so important that we share what's possible and what the dreamy side is too. So I'd love to hear your experiences, guys. Really, really would. One thing I would really love to hear is, what did you need whilst you were going through your transition of motherhood? What did you need whilst you were breastfeeding? What ways did you love how your partner stepped up? I would love to hear, what do you wish your partner knew or did for you? Do you feel that you did ask for what you need, or do you feel that that's something that maybe you could have done differently, or you would do different in the future? Like, I genuinely would love to hear from you. I am in it right now. I am experiencing, like I said, the crazy ride of baby ocean. I am deep in baby ocean right now. We're on a high wave of having a great time. And I genuinely would love to hear from you. What did you need? Did you feel that you got your needs met? Did you feel you were able to express your needs? Breastfeeding, like, is a big one for me. Is like, whenever I'm breastfeeding, I need food, I need water, I just sometimes want company. You know, you can be sat there for a while breastfeeding, so it's nice. My partner always sits with me. Like, if he's around, like on the nighttime feed, he'll always sit with me and we have a little chat whilst I'm doing that nighttime feed. So, love to hear from you guys. I hope this is useful. I just felt inspired to come and share another podcast with you guys. It's been almost an hour, so if you've made it this far, it's been lovely to connect. If you do want to go further on your journey and learn more about the teachings that I live by, whether it's astrology, abundance work, feminine work, whatever it might be, I do have a membership called the Sisterhood membership, which I am crazy about. I love. We've got new content just gone in there yesterday, so I'll share the link below to join. It's also on my website at www.thebeplatform.com/the Sisterhood membership. But yeah, guys, love you loads. Going to feed this little babe, and then I'm heading to my dad's house for a trip out. Aren't we? Okay, loads of love. Mwah. Bye bye.